Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eddie Marcus again. And I was just having a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I thought about you. You know how that goes. And I'm thinking about what's happening in our society, thinking about the message that I've been bringing to you for quite some time, and thinking about the status quo. What could I do to move the ball on in the direction of liberation? And it struck on the idea that what is going on in our society, especially with this impeachment thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the truth of the matter is understanding life is a very complicated and difficult thing, especially when you only got a piece of the information. And the information that you got is information that was allowed for you to have, and it was designed basically to keep you ignorant of the truth. And so you find yourselves caught in a big puddle of mud. Every time you pick your foot up, look like that stuff is just putting it right back down in the same old track. And no matter how high or how often you do it, you still find yourself going nowhere. And so that could trouble a lot of people. Could be the reason you have so many problems in our land. And so I'm thinking about it, and I said, Lord, what could I say? And I'm talking to that invisible power that I can't see, can't touch, can't feel, but the evidence is all around me. In fact, I said, my speaking is the evidence, and to whom I'm speaking to is the evidence. And so here's the message, which is also the evidence. I want to get you here in America to just focus on here in America. Let's not go anywhere outside of America. And I want you to use your imagination, and every last one of you got it. If you didn't know it, just try it, and you will be surprised you got it. This earth is here. This continental United States is here. And the power that is responsible for this earth and this United States is thinking about putting some people here in the United States. And people are going to be requiring certain essentials for survival here in the United States. And this power that made the United States made sure that the resources that would be necessary to have those requirements met are instilled here in the continental United States, above it, on it, or in it. Some seen, some unseen. And that he would create human beings that he's going to put here in the United States and make them have the same basic requirements for survival. Every last one of them are going to have the same basic requirements for survival. And in each one of them, he would kind of put a little special touch, something that they, while being here in the United States of America, would have a desire to do. And having the ability and the freedom to do what they have that little touch to do, it gives them their greatest joy. And so it's like everybody in the United States got this little touch. And everybody in the United States is doing their thing that gives them their greatest joy. And unbeknownst to all of us, just like we didn't know anything about the earth being made, we didn't even know anything about our being made. But as we apply gifts that have been given to us, we find out, based upon the returns, that what we are doing is that we are going into those resources, we're identifying them, we're extracting them, we're doing research on them, we're finding out that all that we are doing are creating resources, goods, and services that would meet every human's need for survival. Every human need for survival. A byproduct of just being obedient to who and what we are. And as a consequence, ladies and gentlemen, we live as though we are living in heaven or paradise, however you want to feed it. That is the plan. Now, what happens in that process? When you exercise your gifts, what are you doing? Some of you are in the fields of education. That means that everybody gets educated. Some of you are in the fields of medicine. That means that health care is available for everybody. Some of you are in housing and food and infrastructure, transportation, all of those different things. That's what some of you are in. And because that's your gift, that's your input into this life, all of you. And that is the return that comes back for all of you. My friends, that's the gift of God, the invisible spirit. Nobody is angry about anything. But now let me just share with you. This is a very good example. Let me share with you. This, what I just described to you, is peace, is freedom, is prosperity, is joy, it's the fulfillment of dreams. But now, check this out. Let's say someone comes along. Let's say that we don't have that, what I just described to you, heaven on earth. Let's say we have something called a democracy. Now, you can understand your own exposure and education to see how we got to a democracy, but let's just focus on right now, we got a democracy. And yet the democracy is not perfect. It's a long way from being perfect. It's a long way from being what I just had to describe it to you. But it's here. And so the people in America have accepted the democracy. It doesn't work, it works, it doesn't work, it works, and so on and so forth. You got some mad this time, some feeling better, some feeling mad next time, feeling better, so on and so forth. But then you have somebody that comes in, looking at you, recognizing some of your problems, and promise you, because he knows you want to have them fixed, that he can fix the problems. And you, the people, have tried Republicans and Democrats over and over again. You here in America, you have tried Republicans and Democrats over and over and over again. But you still find out that you're hurting. You still find out that you're shortcoming. You're nothing like what I just described to you. And that's what each and every last one of you want. You just don't know how to get there. So you find yourself over here. That's why you keep switching for Republicans and Democrats, hoping that somebody will get you there. And they never have. And so you want it so bad till one day you decide to try something that you never tried before. You decide to try a black man. They say black people are really angels. And they say white people are devils. So let's just give a black man a try. Maybe a black man could ease the pain. But you get the black man in there, you find out that the odds are so against him. Not only that, he's probably not up to the job anyway, because in the end, he is not the answer. So you failed. You tried something new, and you failed. Now, you have held yourself up as being a good nation. You have held yourself up as being a godly nation. You've held yourself up as being a Christian nation. And yet everything you have tried have failed. So try something else. And when you come back this time, you got a person standing before you, a deceitful person, who tells you he's going to be your answer. But you know he's deceitful. This track record shows that he's deceitful. But you say that the presentation has been that his deceitfulness has made him a billionaire. So maybe he can come in and share a little bit of that smartness and that genius with America and make things better for we the people, America. And so you end up, some are so against him, some are not, but he ends up in the White House, your leader. United States of America, it's democracy with a new leader. And you find out that the leader that was going to clean the swamp does. But what he does, he gets rid of the people that were already in government, or those who have been brought up in government, understand how government operates, fired them because they wouldn't do what he wanted, and brought in the people from the swamp, people that are corrupt, people that he can tell what to do, and if they raise some sand, he can get his Justice Department, investigate them, next thing you know, going to expose them, put them in prison, or kill them, because he's got something on them. You know, what, quid pro quo, whatever, they got something on him. So, this is what he comes in, and he says it's going to, you know, give you a good tax deal. But he does, but it's not for you. He gives a tax break to those who don't even need it. Then he starts talking about who can't come into the country. He starts doing all those little things that they weren't great things, but you allowed them because it made you appear to be okay. You had people come to the border, you sent some of them back, but you allowed enough of them to come in so the world can think that you were a good nation. You weren't separating kids and stuff like that, but that's what he's doing. He's making you look as ugly as you tried to hide that you were. But then it didn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. He started violating the rules and regulations that you got set up, calling yourself protecting your democracy. And he challenged you in each and every way. But he has stacked the position of power with people that were controlled and manipulated. And so now you got this great big challenge. You know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. The House of Representatives have accused this man of certain activities that's in violation to what we consider something that's acceptable. They have found the evidence to support it. And now it goes to the Senate for a trial, for them to go into the situation and protect you, the people of the United States of America. You see, this here leader that they got in the White House is already violating all those things that you're talking about, cutting your food stamp, talking about taking your Social Security. And now, excuse me, this Senate is supposed to represent you, just like you thought the generals were going to represent you and protect you from this evil man. You think now that those that you have put in office, that you're paying a monthly salary, that you're paying their health care, you're paying for them to have a pension and whatever benefits they receive. You are paying that for them. And what are they doing? They're not going to they don't even want to have a trial. They don't even want to talk about it. They just want to set the man free. Now they set him free when it came through the Russia thing with Mueller. He was so happy he jumped right back on the train the next day, started a new thing. And now they want to set this man free on you. Set him free on you, the American people. Now you thought you had a democracy. You didn't really like it. But you were so out there, so desperate, till you end up trying the devil. And now, when he is exonerated this way, what are you going to have? You're going to have a dictatorship, just like Hitler had in Germany, just like Putin got in Russia, just like this guy got in North Korea. All of these things, that's exactly what you have gone to. That is what you have come to. Now see, ladies and gentlemen, my point is this. Your democracy wasn't the best, but it's better than what you're going to go to now. But you're sitting here, you're observing what is taking place. You see how it's being dropped to a different low. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the same way you got away from that which is perfect. You bought into something different. Somebody saying that you were better, you deserved better, you were smarter, gave you all that other stuff to prop you up to make you think that you are better and more deserving than someone else. And even today, with everything that Trump is doing, with everything that you see that the Democratic Party failed to do, you, all of the American people, listen to me, every last one of you. God, you got different compassion measures and degrees. You got, you're just different because of certain different things. But one thing is this: every last one of you have rejected what I described to you in the beginning. Not only have you rejected it from times past because you didn't know anything about it, even though the message has been put before you, even though the message is being put before you today, I don't care what you think about Trump. I don't care how much you love the Democratic Party. As far as trying to reestablish peace, prosperity, freedom, joy of life, and fulfillment of dreams for everybody on earth, even though it is the greatest thing you could ever imagine, you think you are willing to put up where you are, your standard of living right now, to take a chance on something else? No, you are not. You are not. And because you are not, is why you're stepping out of your standard of democracy down into your dictatorships. Because you are moving just that far and far away from God. Because you do not know God. That is the only reason that you're moving that way, that far from God. And God wants you to come on back, because therein lies life. But you got the choice, and God is not going to make you accept. You know the things say you should reap what you sow? Well, the floods of life do come. The hurricanes of life do come. The wildfires of life do come. The tsunamis of life, they do come. But why wait until they come before you wake up? It might just be too late. So the clarion call to you today is, wake up now. I have just shown you how we went from a perfected society where there was no lying, there was no cheating, there was no stealing, there was no racism, there was no hatred, there was no bigotry, there was no terror, there was no murder, there was no war. There was none of that stuff going on. And now we are all into that, just so that some people can say that it's all right. My message to you is, you're never going to be satisfied until we are all satisfied. Because your satisfaction, is whether you know it or not, is kind of hooked up into my satisfaction, and vice versa. And until we accept that there's a power outside of us, because we ourselves, we're selfish. Don't mess with mine. That's mine. That's yours, baby. That's my wife. That's my man. That's my car. That's my house. That's my money. That ain't your nothing. And it is nothing. You know, on TV, when you have these people, bodies, they are destroyed. Sometimes you just burn up, turn into dust. Then you know, out of all that they might have thought they were, they end up being nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, I started talking. Boy, the time passed so fast. I didn't really want to talk. I wanted to talk to you 5 or 6 minutes. Now it's almost 20. Let me let you go. I hope I haven't wasted your time. Thank you so very much for giving it to me. And until, this is Eddie Marcus. Goodbye.